At the rate these guys are playing and Joe Keefe knowing they're not going to hit the bottom.
Alright, this is my main man, Cat Daddy, and I am Mellow Yellow, and we are drinking beer, talking sports. I'm right at you. Cat Daddy, talked earlier about basketball, sports in general. And for those of you who don't know, this is my old school cat right here, my big brother, Cat Daddy. Talked about the Bulls earlier, and we talked about Derrick Rose. And coming off that ACL, the MCL injury that he had, Adrian Peterson is just coming off. What are your thoughts on his return? Do you think he's going to be the same player he was when he comes back?
Derrick Rose?
Derrick Rose.
If they give him time, if they don't rush him, if they don't bring him out here sooner than what he's supposed to be, of course. Why are you rushing a young, fresh piece of sport, like that? Why are you rushing it?
As we drink beer and talk sports, give me a toast, Cat Daddy. And
here's to the old school.
Cheers to the old school. As we talk about beer and drink sports, and as Cat Daddy just mentioned, you can't rush an injury like that because he's a very young player, 24 years old, and he's very fragile. And although Adrian Peterson just did it, you gotta be careful with an injury like that. But now I'm gonna ask you another question. As we all know what type of player he was before he got hurt, do you think he'll be the same player once he comes back that he was 2 years ago before he got injured?
Yes, I do. For the simple fact that he's still young, he'll be stronger. He took his time to heal,
right? That's fair.
And get his bones back together. He's young. Now, see a guy like me, if I tear an injury like that, that's the season. That's it. I'm done.
Exactly. I feel that. So, and as I hit the screen to try to get rid of some bird boo-boo, I'm going to ask you another question. As we transition into football, Cat Daddy, as we drink beer and talk sports, and give me another tip.
Talk sports to the old school.
My main man, Cat Daddy's in the house, and I'm Mellow Yellow. And
to all the sexy silver foxes out there, too, we love you, ladies.
Here's to you, Toots. Yeah.
We love you, ladies.
Right. So, now, I want to ask you another question. We talked earlier about some of the best running backs in the playoff races in football. And you had made a comment to me that you love Adrian Peterson. I talk about Aaron Foster and other running backs in the league. In your opinion, what's the best running back in the league in the National Football right now? National Football League right now.
I'm going to say Adrian Peterson again for the simple fact that the way he moves, he sees more than the average running back.
Okay.
And then when he has that chance to go through that hole, he picks up speed as he goes. And that's something that that a lot of running backs can't do.
Right.
His vision is like this, like a truck driver. He has a picture view.
Okay.
So if the offensive line closes up on him, he sees another direction.
And as you look into the camera and you tell me that,
that's a talent.
What's your favorite team as we talk about football, Cat Daddy?
The Chicago Bears.
And why do you love the Chicago Bears? Tell America your history on the Chicago Bears.
Their defense.
Okay.
They've always been number one in the defense. They always will be number one in defense because they know how to chase down the football. And a lot of defensive players don't know that. When you can key on the football as much as they do, that's talent. That's defense. Everybody, I'll put it to you this way. Everybody on that defense sees that football before they see anything else. And wherever that football goes, that's where they go. Okay? Bottom line.
Okay. So, and you think about the Bears defense as you drink beer and talk sports, America. This is my main man, Cat Daddy. I am Mellow Yellow, live and indirect for you. Cat Daddy, in your opinion, as you look at the Bears defense, and you look at Brian Urlacher and Bragg and Briggs, Peppers, what do you see that defense in the next 2 years? You think it still will be dominant? Because there's not a lot of draft picks that are coming up that's going to take control. Maybe McClintock, but outside of that, who else is going to step up? Or do you think this is going to be a garbage defense that's not going to be warranted for? As you drink beer and talk sports.
Well, you got to look at the age of the players.
Right. That's fair.
And to me, if they can heal up
this year,
they can heal themselves up to a point. You already have the control, you have the understanding, you have the leadership. That's number one, and the captain. See, that's what Cutler's problem is. He don't captain a team.
So who's the captain in your opinion, Urlacher or Cutler?
I know where you have to go. Which position you talking about? Football.
Well, the overall team, who's the leader in your opinion? It would have to be Urlacher because you've been there longer, man.
No, I wouldn't say that right now. I think there's a bit of confusion going on right there.
That's fair.
You know, because the offense wants to play at the level that defense wants to play, but they don't have that person that can step back. No, that person, that quarterback. That quarterback, when he first came out, he had a lot of different toughness to him that's not there anymore because he got hit a lot of times. So that changes your philosophy on the way you play. And what made it look a little bit better is when they got number 15.
Brandon Marshall,
who's a beast.
Who was probably
number 17. He can play.
Alshon Jeffries. America, if you didn't know.
No, I knew his name. I couldn't think of it at the point. Because we're drinking beer
and talking sports. Cheers. But America.
Love you, ladies.
Right. So, America, what he's saying is because of the receiving core that Jay Cutler has right now with Alshon Jeffries, number 17, and Brandon Marshall, number 15, he's saying in so many uncertain terms that, you know, you can't judge him on his previous years, judge him on the years forthcoming. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I'm going to ask you another question. We talked about this earlier with Harvey and Locke and a couple of my buddies that was on Drinking Beer Talking Sports. And we asked a question about Tony Romo and Jay Cutler in America. And we both know they're all supposedly high-talent quarterbacks. But in your opinion, is Jay Cutler better than Tony Romo? Is Tony Romo better than Jay Cutler? Who's the best out of those two? What do you think? In your opinion? Or is it a wash or what? Because, now, let's be honest, Romo's had a lot of good success, but he hasn't won anything but one playoff game.
Well, see, I look at the skill of the quarterback, so I'm going to say pretty much it seems like a wash to me because they do the same thing.
I'd agree with that.
You know, they break down at the wrong time.
You see that in America?
Yeah, they break down. I mean, I can't help them on that problem.
Yeah, because you make an argument for both, but what is the one thing you see about Jay Cutler as being his biggest downfall in America? And Cat did.
You've been hit too many times.
So basically, you saying that his offensive line is garbage?
Not really, because I've seen him get out of some really tough plays.
Key point.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen him run, and he could actually. His arm is fantastic. He can shoot it. But then he gets to that point sometimes, like if he's thinking too hard, you know, like Devin Hester. Devin Hester is thinking too hard. And ever since, you know, that little incident with him, it's like something was out his head, you know, he's never been the same. I don't know if they smacked him to think a little bit or smacked him to leave him alone.
So, to summarize Devin Hester, they should have left him as a kickoff returner.
No, he has skills as a wide receiver. He's a slot receiver, what I think, because he can run. He has the ability to cut. A slot receiver is a cutter, right? Am I wrong?
No, you're right.
Okay, so if you're gonna run a 10 and go right, there's the ball. The ball should be right there. Now you have open field.
So I think for us to sit here and compare him to Wes Welker, who has not even half the speed that maybe Devin Hester has, but he's a better route runner. You would think that Hester can run the same little quick ass routes. You make a cut to the right or left, in or out, a curl, a dig, and be able to be successful, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I agree with that 100%.
Okay.
Because he knows the patterns. He has that Adrian Peterson vision.
Okay.
But like I said, ever since somebody went
America, as we talk beer, as we drink beer and talk sports, this is Cat Daddy. I am Mellow Yellow. It's my main man. Old school's in the house. And Cat Daddy, as we drink beer and talk sports, I want you to tell everybody who your favorite all-time quarterback is. Now, you know, we probably may disagree on this. We may agree. Mm-hmm. But you think about, you know, Dan Marino, John Elway, Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning, you know, Dan Fouts, Kenny Anderson, Terry Bradshaw, you know, Troy Aikman. Who's your favorite quarterback and why?
Well, you said one, but I now particularly see two.
Who's that?
You know, Peyton Manning, yeah, I'll go with him. But Green Bay's Aaron Rodgers.
And why is that?
Because he knows how to put the ball in their hands No matter where you're standing, no matter where you are, no matter what route you're running, the ball,
right here.
You have to pay attention because the ball is sitting right there.
What about his scrambling ability? You think he's a good scrambler?
He's okay. If he don't really need to.
He's that good.
Yeah.
Okay.
He has a good vision that goes back to that vision. I tell you, that truck driver's vision.
Truck driver's
you have to know how to see all over the field.
For America,
not just one person.
In case you didn't know, Cat Daddy and myself are previous truck drivers and current truck drivers, so we know about the road.
Right.
Tell them, cats.
Yes, you have to have the picture view. Okay? Picture view means not just looking at one thing. You have to be able to see the trees.
Trees and deer.
The side of the road, the deer.
You can die if you hit a deer.
Yes, you can. Well, you can fry them up and cook them once you get them off the side of the road.
As we drink
beer. My country boys know about that.
As we drink beer and talk sports, well said, Cat Daddy. I'm going to ask you another question as we drink beer and talk sports. Cheers.
Okay, yeah.
And we talked earlier about the best teams in the NFL this year. San Francisco came up, the Patriots, Seattle even. In your opinion, as you look at football this year, and it doesn't have to be nothing long and drawn out. What's your favorite team in the NFL this year and why?
Well, I really feel real strong about two teams again. The 49ers and the Atlanta Falcons.
Wow. Everybody forgot about the Atlanta Falcons.
I'm going to say why. Because the Atlanta Falcons have something to prove. They did it last year. But this year, they really come out with a more toughness about the situation.
And man, I add, they've been in the playoffs so many years previously, and they always had a dud. They've been a playoff contingent team for like 3 or 4 years at least.
They don't want to be the Bills, right?
They don't want to be the Bills, but at least the Bills made it to the actual championship, right, with Jim Kelly?
4 times, now the title won.
Well said. As we drink beer and talk sports, and tell them my main man, this is the Cat Daddy out Mellow Yo. The chemistry is flowing. And we might just switch this topic on to basketball. We talk about some of the best teams in basketball this year. Cat Daddy, have you watched a lot of basketball this year?
Well, I'm not going to say I totally went into it.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a different question. Who's your favorite player in history and why?
In history?
Yeah, and if you think about the best players in basketball, the NBA, and history, who's Cat Daddy's top of the list, top 3? Is it Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? Is it Wilt Chamberlain? Is it Michael Jordan? Is it Kobe? Is it Karl Malone? Is it Al Greer? I don't know, America. Maybe he can tell me. A main man right here drinking beer talking sports. He's debating. He's trying to figure it out, America.
Yeah, because that's pretty good. Because we have a lot of good-looking sports basketball players that really play at a level that's beyond
elite level, beyond
recognition.
Okay? Right, recognition.
Okay. Well, you know, Julius Erving,
Dr. J.
Okay. I give Michael Jordan his credit.
MJF.
Scottie Pippen, which people don't pay attention to.
Scottie Pippen, who was better than LeBron and smaller.
Exactly.
And let's get on the conversation of LeBron James and Scottie Pippen, America. And everybody's putting all this emphasis on LeBron James. And you saw Scottie Pippen's whole career.
Right.
What did you think about Scottie Pippen, America? And Cat Daddy, what you think about it?
It's his game. He has a great game. He knows how to play a full position. You know,
do you
think the ball up? He can play the small forward, the power forward. He can even play center. You know,
his defense. What do you think about his defense?
Outstanding.
Do you think he can stick every position on the floor?
I do.
Let me ask you a question. Outside of size, was he better than LeBron James or whatever it was? Because LeBron's a lot bigger, maybe 30 pounds, Marion.
I think it was a lot better because he learned how to do the 3. He could bust that 3 anytime.
Right.
You pay attention to that. He did a lot of 3s in his life. And that's pretty different from a big power forward.
Right. America, you hear that?
And then he can dunk, run, steal.
Which LeBron can do too.
Yeah. Well,
but I just think, and then think about the team that Pippen played on. Would you agree he had Jordan, the greatest scorer ever, bar none? But yet he still got his points.
They needed each other. Bottom line, they needed each other.
Why is that?
Because Mike did a lot by himself, But when Pippen came along, they got 6 titles, and that's the bottom line on that end of that.
And so, America, in case you didn't know, Cat Daddy's telling you right now, without Pippen, Jordan would be Jordan.
Right, exactly. Everybody needs somebody.
Everybody needs somebody in the loneliest night.
Right.
As we talk about football, we transition as we drink beer and talk sports. My main man, Cat Daddy, we're going to get into it real in depth. And, we talk about Walter Payton, Barry Sanders, Adrian Peterson. And you talk a lot of football, being at the ripe young age of 23 in your years. Who are the best top 3 running backs you ever saw? Not just statistically, because obviously Emmitt Smith has the best statistics.
Well, that was number 1 off the top.
But that's statistically from the eye test, as we listen to Michael Jackson in the background, the greatest singer ever, and maybe Prince. And,
well, them brothers had to get it together sometime.
Right. Who is your favorite running back, top 3 ever? Or top 3 favorite running back?
Well, you talking about us just watching, not.
Yeah, just the eye test. Just when you saw Bo Jackson, maybe you may have seen. Good Lord, Bo was sick,
Bo Jackson. He's drinking beer.
But talking sports, man. As I sit a little closer to the camera, the spotlight is on us.
I would never do wrong. Detroit has always had the best running back, yardage wise, moves, everything. Barry Sanders, yes sir.
Why?
The way he runs, he was an Adrian Peterson before Adrian Peterson. You understand what I'm saying?
But was he as physical as Adrian Peterson, in your opinion? Just ask.
A little bit smoother.
Okay.
It had a little bit more lower gravity and quicker.
Okay.
Peyton was a hitter. See, there's a difference. He had quickness, but he was a hitter. See, he didn't let you run him over. You couldn't bend his knees back like they do in Forte and got his leg caught all up and behind him and whatnot. You can't do that.
Ain't shit.
You heard it from the peanut gallery. Color ain't jack. As we transition, and we talked about Adrian Peterson, and we talked about Barry Sanders. What do you think about Walter Payton, Cat Dad?
He was a great running back.
But was he better than Barry Sanders?
No.
See, this is an old school cat telling you that Barry Sanders was better than Walter Payton. Why is that?
His quickness, his strength, his ability to get around people, and then pick up speed. Pick up speed while he's in transition. Payton will stop sometimes. He'll get hit and he'll stop. Adrian Peterson, you have to grab him.
He drink beer and talk sports. He's telling me live and in living color, America, that Barry Sanders was better than Walter Payton. And that's a good argument.
Right.
But you know what? I don't know if I agree with that because Walter Payton missed 1 game in his career. You knew they were going to run against him. At least Barry Sanders had Mitchell at quarterback. We knew he was a throwing threat. We had no one ever except for Mac.
No, they depended on Detroit.
Come here, America.
I'm sorry, America, but they used him a lot more than any running back I've ever seen. Maybe I was missing some games or something.
Was that Payton?
No, Barry Sanders.
Okay,
that's right. He don't want to beat up on his body like that and not get paid. Who would?
Do you think that's why he retired early?
Of course.
Okay.
You paying this man $500,000, you give me $100,000, and I'm out here getting myself tore. Excuse me, America. Not right.
As you heard it, live and direct, my main man Cat Daddy. Get in where you fit in. Give it up before you die. So, now as we transition into the greatest quarterbacks ever, as we drink beer and talk sports, we got some of the best malt liquor you ever had. Show the world what we drinking. Only 800. And I'm drinking some of the greatest beer you ever seen.
And you know what? It makes you tell the truth.
And we know what we're talking about. As we talk about the greatest quarterbacks ever, and we talk about Dan Marino, John Elway, some of the other quarterbacks you may think that are quality.
The Bears not going.
I'm going to name you 5 quarterbacks. You tell me who the greatest. Jim Kelly, John Elway, Montana, Dan Fouts, or Brett Favre. Who is the best quarterback in your opinion, pound for pound, in experience? If you had a team to start tomorrow, you would need to win a playoff game or a championship. Would you take Cat Dad? And why? It's just your opinion, not everybody else's.
I can only pick one.
One. I just want one.
Man, that's kind of tough because
And
all the ones you named, I mean, you know.
They all knock them out the box.
Well,
Somebody now.
John Elway had a skill, outstanding skill. No, that's not what he's talking about. There,
Somebody asked your ass.
Right, go on back over there. You wrong. Get back in the corner, or you get knocked out like Pacquiao. I didn't mean to say that.
America, he's telling the truth. Knocked out like Pacquiao. He got knocked the F out.
Yes, he did.
Right here is where he got knocked out.
Yes, he did. And then when they picked him up, he wanted to know who paid the bills.
As we talk, Harv, Disco Dave, Malcorelli, Roderick, and all the rest of Coach see me in the studio. Let's do this. That's what we do. We drink beer and we talk sports. Chill.
Drink beer, talk sports, chill.
There's no BS in us. We just come at you raw and live and direct on YouTube. Holla at me, boy. Yeah. So who's your favorite quarterback?
I can't pick him out of that group. So see, I could say John Elway for his skill. But then I can also go back to the 49ers quarterback. I'm sorry, I couldn't think of his name. Montana. Right? I can go to him. Because Montana, I mean, who's wearing the rings?
Well, I'm going to ask you another question. You got one game, because just for the reference, for the sake of reference, Elway went to 5 Super Bowls. Montana went to 4 Super Bowls. Won them all. Kelly went to 4 Super Bowls, lost them all. You know, you got Warren Moon.
You talking about the
Randall Cunningham. You got Brady, did we forget? You got Rodgers. You got Peyton Manning's got, 1 Super Bowl ring and a loss. You got Eli that's got 2 rings. You got Roethlisberger's that got 2 rings. You name me the best. Because you can make an argument for any of those quarterbacks, but if you had one game, who would you rather have? Rodgers, Eli, Peyton, Joe Montana, John Elway, Dan Fouts, Randall Cunningham.
In all honesty,
your honest opinion. America, as we drink beer and talk sports.
Drink beer and talk sports.
That's what we do.
I would actually rather have the Green Bay Packers quarterback.
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
Not Brett Favre.
No, not Brett Favre Rodgers. No, Aaron Rodgers. And the reason I say that is because that guy knows how to put the ball in the wide receiver's hand.
You see this big circle in my hand? He can put it there.
He'll put it there.
Put the circle.
Put it
there.
He
can put it right there. He's that good.
And you wonder why the women
on the run with traffic with the Bears cover 2 defense. He can put it. Show him, America. Right there. Right, Cat Daddy? So when you start talking about Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, Alex Rodgers, Jim Colbert, whoever, just remember, it starts and ends not with Tom Brady, not with Peyton Manning, but with this right here. On the run, he puts the ball right there.
He sure does. Like a loaf of bread laid in your hands. Like
He's
a
got
baby
1
out
ring,
the crib.
But if he ever had any type of defense, he would have 5 rings already. They got rid of Brett Favre because of this right here. Show him, Cat Daddy. He can put the ball right here. You see that, America? Right here. See that?
Oh, on the other side.
As we transition into basketball, and we talk about Kobe Bryant, Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Wilt Chamberlain, and Michael Jordan. Who is the best basketball player, pound for pound, inch for inch you've ever seen?
Michael Jordan.
Why is that?
Because he picked his game up after 3 years. He did what it took him to do in order to get 6 rings. He went to work.
So he got so for America, in case you didn't know, he got injured in his 3rd year supposedly with stress fracture.
No.
What year was it?
No. What happened to that man was he got tired of the crap and he went to go play baseball. Okay,
that was in the 90s, right?
Yeah, but that was in that between time when they cheated Scottie Pippen out of that 4th trophy, which would have made them have 7 trophies, not 6. 7.
Yeah, right. 7. Like we
7.
said, we can't
look, not 6.
So America, what he's saying is, in your terms of being the greatest player, and you look at Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, what did Jordan do that was different than Kobe Bryant that puts him a better or at a higher echelon than maybe Kobe Bryant?
He picked up his whole game, not half his game. He already had the inside covered. He picked up his 3-point shot.
Air Jordan. Remember
picked
that.
up his 2-point shots.
What was his name from 84 to 89?
Right.
Air Jordan.
He learned how to fly high.
He was called Air Jordan for a reason, America.
Right.
Because he can fly.
Right. Hey, Jordan, by the way, could you bring them gym shoe prices down a little bit? Because they'll tear it too high.
We kind of cold. You know?
Yeah.
I got a Superman hat.
Right.
We got a damn Bears hat that's so the wrong way, man. Right. But you know what? Look, backwards. Look at this, America. Upside down Bears jersey because we so poor, Michael Jordan.
Right.
Thank you, Charles Barkley and Michael Jordan. We appreciate you for nothing.
No, don't believe.
Drink beer, talk sports. Can't tell him what you need.
Don't believe what he said because Charles, I love the way you talk about stuff. You gave $100 to a poor broke man. I'd have shook your hand too. I have no problems with that.
I would have
if I got 50 cents, you have a quarter.
So if we talk about the best quarterback, who's your favorite?
Oh, shoot. Here we go. Aaron Rodgers. I'm not going to change my mind.
Okay, so America, you heard it live and direct from my man Cat Daddy. He said Aaron Rodgers. And I would have to agree with that because he can scramble in the pocket, he can throw on the run, he gets sacked more than any other quarterback in the league every year, and he's still at 4,000 to 5,000 passing yards and like 40 touchdowns and like 10 interceptions. It's unreal what he does. As we get done with that, we're going to move on to another sport.
Before you let it go, who won the division?
Green Bay again, and I'm pretty upset about it. I'm about to commit suicide, by the way.
And I'll tell you one more thing.
Green Bay against who?
If we had picked up our game, we'd have given it again too.
It's been happening 3 to 4 or 7 straight years. 7 straight years. I can count, America. And we lose to Green Bay every year with who is the quarterback? Not Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, right, Cat Dad?
Yes, sir.
So who do we need to blame? It's not that Green Bay's got a great defense or great receivers. It's Aaron Rodgers makes those players a lot better, right, Cat?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Now we're gonna talk about baseball. And Cat Daddy, he played baseball. He was he played in the Jackie Robinson West League. He was a World Series winner. What are your thoughts on the White Sox getting rid of Adrian Procinsky? AJ, what are your thoughts? I know you're pretty upset like I am. Or maybe you have other thoughts.
Hey. He was okay.
Go back TV, man.
He could have picked up a little bit more on the hit and a lot less bitching. That would have made a difference.
See, I play devil's advocate because this last year he had the most home runs he's ever had. He never was a defensive catcher. He had 20-some odd home runs.
You just said what I said.
Cat Daddy.
Why would you get rid of him now? He is 36 years old. America, what he's trying to tell you in so many uncertain terms is he probably is too old for us to re-sign him at 36. What do you think?
Age is a number. Okay. It's the way you play the game.
Well said. That's true. That's true. So he's obviously, America, you see that age is just a number, and I agree with him. What he says is right. So then, all right, so he's 36. We all know age is a number. He produced last year. Is this his reputation and him being an asshole that got him traded from the White Sox or let go? Or is this because he's just old at 36?
All the sensitive people had a problem with his attitude.
At 34-year-old.
Right. Not in baseball. You can play till you're 42, son. Especially pitchers.
At baseball.
Let me just say this, America. In case you didn't know, AJ Procinsky called one of the best games as far as being behind the plate, but he couldn't throw nobody out. So he had horrible defense, but he called a really good game. He was a very good offensive catcher, Cat Daddy, as you already know. Mm-hmm. So what we're arguing is his worth opposed to him throwing runners out or being able to call the game. Take mediocre pitchers and turn them into superstars like he did with so many pitchers. Shit, Burley would be the first example. Hummer would be the second example. And so many other pitchers over the 10 years he was in Chicago. The question is, he took mediocre pitchers And what did he do? Turn them into superstars, right, Cat Daddy?
Yeah, pretty much.
But he couldn't throw nobody out, run to second base. So
No, he threw some people out every now and then, you know. But I mean, what did they want? They wanted extraordinary second base thrower out or something. I mean,
no, they didn't, because that's a lost art. Man, he obviously wasn't that. But do you think he was a good catcher? We did get a ring from him because of a couple plays. So.
Depends on who was pitching. You're right.
Swing and a miss.
He gave me a swing and a miss right there. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what we do. How's it go? We do what?
Drinking beer, talking sports.
That's right.
And as we conclude this segment, as we drink beer and talk sports, we kind of, out of control, stumbling, fumbling. I want to ask you, Cat Daddy, as you look at football in a limited amount, because you work, America, if you didn't know, he stops crime. So don't come to his house with a gun and shoot your black ass, or your white ass, or your whatever race. Anyway.
And that's what the C stands for. Captain.
Nothing ever racial as I say that, but he will shoot your ass. Cat Daddy.
Yes.
What is the best team in football and why? We talked about this earlier, but I want a definitive answer and why.
The best team in football?
Yeah. Is it the Patriots? Is it San Francisco? Is it Seattle? Who is it? Is it the Cowboys? Is it the Bears?
How about we just cut this thing off? We keep between ourselves.
America, he's afraid to answer this question. And he's got pink panties on. We drinking beer, talking sports. We're about to say